What up, y'all? Welcome to a very new sort of episode of the Pick and Roll Podcast. The first of its kind.
The first of its kind.
The Pick and Roll Podcast full show. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL, a little bit about the NBA. I like to say double the leagues, double the fun. Trademark pending. I'm your co-host, Jonathan Bridline.
And I'm LJ Pandian.
I had to sneak that in there.
And I came up with that, but it's okay.
No, you did not.
Moving on. Moving on. So, like you said, we're going to be talking about the NFL and the NBA in a full show. And if you want to learn more about the NBA, we can go check out our Indie Analysis series.
Nice plug.
Yep. So, where we talk about each NBA team in depth and what they need to do to succeed. And you get to see more in-depth analysis, more details, and the nitty-gritty in that situation.
Those are also fun in and of themselves.
Indeed, yes. So, moving on. Let's start with, we haven't done this in a while. We haven't done trivia in a while. So
I'll ask you.
Yeah, he's going to ask me an NFL question. I'm going to ask him an NBA question. So, yeah.
Are you ready? This is, per his request, a question about last season. I was going to do that anyway. The category is tight end. Which tight end led the league in receptions?
Receptions.
Not yards, not touchdowns, receptions last year.
Okay.
I feel like with tight ends, there's really only like three possible answers, really. Three or four, really.
Yeah.
It's not like wide receivers or quarterbacks or running backs when it's like super broad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know Kittle and Darren Waller both missed some time with injury. So that kind of eliminates those two kind of. So I'm just going to go with the obvious choice. I think all you guys are thinking. I'm going with Travis Kelce.
Incorrect. Ooh, do you want another guess? Because there's.
I'm trying to think who else is a viable option. I'm okay.
AFC North.
NFC North.
AFC.
Oh, AFC North. Receptions, AFC North. Oh
yeah,
Mr. Mark Andrews.
No,
no chance.
David Njoku. I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Mark Andrews. Yeah. Mark Andrews is correct.
Mark Andrews. Okay, that makes sense. I totally forgot about Mark Andrews. That's my bad, Mark.
Sorry, Marky.
So okay, I'm going my trivia question. It's with the NBA players, but it's asking about college, sort of. So
okay,
it's not that hard. So.
Like
which NBA player has had the most career college points? And if you want options, I can.
Do they play currently?
No.
Most college points. Yeah, give me some options.
Let's say Larry Bird, Pete Maravich, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or Bill Walton.
It's not Larry Bird, and it's not Bill Walton. Here's the thing. I know for a fact it's either Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Pete Maravich. Here's the thing, though. Pete Maravich, he played for LSU. Mm-hmm. I know that. And Kareem, who was then Lou Alcindor, played for UCLA. Mm-hmm. The thing is, there was a study done once. Pete Maravich was so ahead of his time. Like, people call him an alien, like a time traveler, kind of like he played in the wrong era.
Yeah.
I remember he was an absolute bucket in college, but someone did a study where if the 3-point line was a thing, he would be by far the highest scorer in college basketball history. So with that said, it makes me want to thank Kareem because Kareem didn't shoot jump shots.
Yeah.
But still, I'm going to go with my gut and say Pete Maravich.
That is correct.
Yes.
Pete Maravich led the league, or has the most college career points.
Really?
I'm not sure the number, but
it's Petey.
Yeah, it's big old Pete. So, yeah, trivia.
If you didn't give me those options, I would have said Kareem. I forgot about Petey.
Okay. Well,
I was about to say Christian Laettner, actually.
Oh. Interesting.
Nah.
I forgot about Christian, but okay. So let's talk about the NFL. We're gonna start with the NFL, then transition to the NBA. So before we get into like the general team stuff, I want to talk about one player, a quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, right. Yeah. Jimmy G.
We'll get to the Browns later on, but I want to talk about. So right now he's been in an interesting situation with the 49ers where they have their starting quarterback in Trey Lance, who I think is going to be decent. I don't know if he's going to be great or not, but
they've pretty much gone out and said outright that he will be the QB1
They traded multiple first-round picks for him, so they kind of have to play him. If he doesn't pan out, then he doesn't pan out.
Yikes.
So Jimmy Garoppolo is in a situation where he's making $25 million just to be the backup quarterback of the 49ers. And the 49ers do not want that money, so they're looking to move him. But no team is really looking to take on that much money. But right now, you and me have compiled a list of our top 3 teams that should try to take Jimmy Garoppolo from the 49ers. So I'll let you go first. Give me your top 3 and your why.
So I have a top 4, actually.
Okay,
but enough. I have a 3A and a 3B.
Fair enough.
But so is it in order? Does it have to be in any specific order, like most viable to the least viable?
That's how mine is, but let's just.
I think that's how mine is too.
Okay, that's fine.
And number 1, in my opinion, is the Cleveland Browns.
Interesting.
I know, that's very interesting. Let me tell you why. Current events have been flooding around. Yep. Deshaun Watson, a name that you might have heard, is currently suspended for 6 games.
Currently, at the moment. And the NFL is currently appealing this suspension because they want him out for an entire year. Ooh. An entire year. You hear that? So that would be very bad if you're that'd be very bad if you're a Browns fan. Indeed.
Having this big name Deshaun Watson not play for you for an entire year. When we've kind of moved players like a Mayflower truck to get him. That would leave us with the starting quarterback of Jacoby Brissett, which doesn't spark a lot of confidence for the Cleveland Browns fan base. So again, the thing would be, are the Browns willing to take up his contract? I don't know, but I just feel like we're kind of in this win now mentality. Kind of like my next team on the list. But so it'd be kind of in our best interest to get someone like Jimmy G. Yeah. And that goes right into my next team, which is same division, state right next door, Pittsburgh Steelers. At number 2. The Steelers, I know what you're thinking. Whoa. They just got Kenny Pickett. Whatever. I don't really have so much for a reason for this one, but just the fact that if they want to play it safe, I guess, rookie quarterbacks are always...
They're either hit or miss. So.
That's what I was searching for, hit or miss. So if the Steelers, like I said before, they're kind of in this win now kind of. They're also rebuilding. They really don't have anything special besides Najee Harris and TJ Watt.
Yeah. They just lost Juju Smith-Schuster too.
And they just lost Juju to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't think this. I could see it happening. I really can. And I don't know how well that'll go over in Pittsburgh because that'll spark questions there. Who will be QB1? It'll be kind of like
repeat. Right now they have Mitch Trubisky as their QB1, which is, in all fairness, that's not good enough to make the playoffs. But maybe getting a stable quarterback, a proven winning quarterback like
Jimmy G.
Like Jimmy G could be.
So then that goes right into my 3A and my 3B. No particular order. 3A, I got the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints with Jameis Winston right now in QB1. Allen was saying off camera that he thinks Jameis Winston will win the MVP.
I did not say he will. I
he
say
said
he's a dark
he
horse.
will. He'll deny it. He's going to deny it now that the camera's rolling.
Dark horse candidate.
No. Anyways, Jameis Winston, kind of like a Jacoby Brissett type thing. When you if you think of winning quarterbacks, when you think of deep playoff run quarterbacks, Jameis Winston ain't really it. They do have weapons. They do have Michael Thomas, and they do have our boy Chris Olave,
Alvin Kamara, yep,
and Alvin Kamara. So they have all the weapons in the world.
Yeah,
we'll see. And Jimmy G has been a quarterback that's proven to be able to utilize his weapons. He's been to the Super Bowl before. He's been there before. He's that veteran type beat that they need with their talent on their roster. I think I would like to see the Saints pick up Jimmy G. And then my 3B is just him staying in San Francisco. The the 49ers might realize, like, hey, maybe we should pay this guy. Because Trey Lance, Trey Lance could be hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. I really, personal opinion, don't see him doing, like, super, super good. I feel like the reason why the 49ers are having him QB1 is his age. He's younger. He's more vigorous, I should say, like more energized. He's young. He's ready to play.
Yeah.
So, and again, the 49ers aren't looking to pay Jimmy G, but that's why I have him at the bottom of this list. I can see him staying. If the 49ers can't get a decent trade package together for him, they'll be like, okay, we'll just pay him.
Yeah.
Maybe buy him out. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's my list. Let me hear your list.
So since you included the Browns and the Steelers, I had both of those teams on my list too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction. I'll start with I'm going to go 3-2-1. So third, not
okay.
least to most important. So third, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. And as you saw in the offseason, they added Tyreek Hill, Cheetah. They have Jalen Waddle, and they added like three or four running backs who were all. They had Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, and one other running back. I'm not too sure, but they have a really good running back core. And as we saw in San Francisco, their offense was run the ball and then have Jimmy G throw play action or throw underneath routes to Deebo Samuel and let them go run. So I think with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, with their incredible speed, him at quarterback would be more stable and they would have a better ability to get to the playoffs than maybe Tua. And obviously, I think they should give Tua a shot as it's his like second or third year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten a fair shot in my opinion yet. So I think giving Tua a shot is important. But if you want to back up who's proven to be a winner, Jimmy G I think is a great option. Yep. Second, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. And I know what you guys might be thinking. They're in rebuild mode. Why would they want an expensive veteran quarterback? Pete Carroll is 75 years old. So he's I think he's the oldest coach in the league right now. And he runs an old archaic system where they just run the ball and then third down, whatever down it is, they may pass it maybe. And that's why they haven't been successful the past 3 years in my opinion. They haven't let Russell Wilson do his thing. So with Jimmy G, who's already been an offense that's primary to just running the ball, him going to Seattle could help them maybe get a wild card spot because they got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and they just lost Chris Carson, unfortunately, due to his retirement. Prayers up to him. Hopefully his injuries are not as severe as they look. But they lost Chris Carson, but they have Alfred Penny. They have Rashad Penny. And they just drafted Ken Walker from Michigan State, who's looking to be a great running back.
I forgot that the Seahawks picked them up.
Yeah, and their defense is not looking bad. They just lost Bobby Wagner, so their defense might be but if they do want to somehow compete for a playoff spot, which I think Pete Carroll will, Jimmy G is a great option. And then finally, I'm going to go with the New York Giants. And though they are also a rebuilding team per se.
They've been rebuilding for the past 25 years. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
yeah. I mean, they did win a Super Bowl 10 years ago. But
they've been rebuilding for the past 10 years.
But looking at their roster, they still got Saquon Barkley, who's injury brittled, but if he's always a promising young player that, if healthy, he's a dynamic player. They got one of the most expensive receiver rooms right now with Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard. They're not amazing receivers, but with the right quarterback, they could be above average. And then their defense is not amazing, but it's not terrible. So I think Jimmy G could definitely, in a weak division like theirs, where they have maybe the Cowboys is the best team in the division, we'll get to. As the Cowboys the best team in the division, they could definitely compete for a wild card spot in the NFC at least. So those are my three teams.
Yeah, and I meant to say this at the beginning, but personally, Jimmy G, in my opinion, is a little overrated. And I'll just say, he went to the Super Bowl, but a lot of people forget that 49ers defense, almost single-handedly got them to the Super Bowl. Yeah, he's been there, but he's always been on a team with an elite defense. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious to see how he'll play on a team maybe with not so great defense.
I'm gonna say this to you actually, just to give a little contradiction. I think at this point in the offseason, he's becoming a little underrated.
Really?
Literally no team wants him in his contract just because like.
So yeah.
Because I'm not saying that he's a Pro Bowl quarterback or anything, but I think he's won games. He's proven to win games, and he's definitely, I think he's an average quarterback at best, and a lot of teams could definitely use that average level of quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, in the sense that no one wants him, he could be considered underrated, yeah.
Yep. So we talked about Deshaun Watson a little bit. That's with the Browns. So I think we can just move on to who we think is going to... We're going to make maybe some way too early predictions in terms of winning.
Way too early.
Way too early predictions. So let's just start with saying who's going to win the division, each division. And I'll let you go first. Let's start with the AFC.
The AFC, so the Browns division.
AFC North, yes.
I want to be biased and say that the Browns are in the best division, but they're not. But they are in still a talented division. The Ravens, the Bengals, and us, and then the Steelers.
Yeah.
Like definitely not a division that's. I remember last year we weren't the best division, but we were the closest division, and I can see that kind of playing out again this year. Like throughout like 80% of the season, first and fourth was determined by like 2 games, or like 1.5 games, something like that.
Yeah.
So, and I really can see it maybe playing out similarly this year. With that said, I have the Cincinnati Bagels.
The
Bungles, reigning AFC champs. Joe Burrow's coming back.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase coming back, both coming off of career years. And Joe Burrow's really looking to be Joe Shiesty, looking to be one of the most promising quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
I got them winning this division.
I'm going to agree with you there. They have a much improved offensive line. That was a focal point in their the offseason. That was a focal point from the general manager to improve the offensive line for Joe Burrow. And they did a great job with that. And they lost CJ Uzoma, who's a pretty promising tight end, a young tight end, but they got Hayden Hurst, who I think is a pretty average and a quality tight end for them. And their defense is looking better. They haven't added too much and they haven't taken away too much, so their defense is going to be kind of the average to above average level like last year. But their offense is it's probably going to be one of the top 5 offenses in the league with Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. So I just realized all 3 of them.
I was literally just going to say the same thing. JJJ.
Jaron Jackson Jr. right there.
Triple J.
So, let's move on to the AFC East. And this one not really much of
I got the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, 100%.
Enough said. For you at home, if you don't know the divisions, like me, their division is with the New England Patriots, decent rebuilding New England Patriots, the New York Jets, enough said, and then the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. So, I think I will say I think New England and Miami, they're going to be competent teams, but not the Bills are just
the Bills are just like
they just got Von Miller in the offseason, so their defense is looking elite, and Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, the Bills winning that division, and
that's not the right.
I want Miami. I'm cheering for Miami to be good. I want Tua to be good, even though he went to Alabama and whatever. I want him to be good because he's a humble kid. He's a good kid. I want him to good. I want the Miami Dolphins to be good, but I don't know if they're at that level yet where
definitely not.
They can compete with the Bills at least. So, and Mac Jones, I'm not a huge believer in Mac Jones right now. I don't think he has the skill. I mean, the Patriots don't even have an offensive coordinator right now.
Oh, really?
So it's just Bill Belichick calling plays on offense and defense. So it's like, I don't know how you can, as a quarterback, I don't know how you can deal with that. So, yeah.
All right, AFC South.
Interesting.
I have the reigning 1 seed Tennessee Titans.
Interesting.
With Ryan Tannehill.
I have the Indianapolis Colts, actually. So, give me a reason why you got the Titans.
Well, why don't you give me the reason why you have the Colts, and I can rebuttal everything that you say.
Okay, so Colts they had Carson Wentz last year, who is he's probably a below average level quarterback. He makes a lot of mistakes, those turns the ball over a lot, and they got the leading rush yards leader in Jonathan Taylor, who's who me and Fred have history with Jonathan Taylor. So
No.
they had Jonathan Taylor, and then their defense is always going to be good with Shaq Leonard instead of Darius Leonard. Now he changed his name, Shaq Leonard, and
Really?
DeForest Buckner. So that defense is going to be pretty good. Their run defense has always been pretty good. And Michael Pittman, I'm excited about Michael Pittman. He's like a 6'4" receiver who can just go up and get the ball. I'm excited about him, and I think they can do a lot. And not to mention they got Matt Ryan, so I think he's the underrated quarterback.
Yeah, I think the Titans are still better though.
Let's hear why.
Well, it's like
they're
no. Listen. I'm just gonna. I'm not even gonna defend them. I'm just gonna let their play do the talking.
Okay.
It's one of these like It's like one of these like indescribable like gut feel. You're taking a math test. And you don't want to know the answer to the question.
But it's B. It's B. It's always B.
But sure.
Yeah.
But you don't want to know, so you just go with your gut. Listen to your gut. My mother told me that some years ago, and I've listened to it ever since. And my gut is telling me the Tennessee Titans. I also like their color scheme better too.
Okay. All right. Well, Colts, Titans. Yeah.
You watch the Titans watch the Titans win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Watch it happen.
Whoa.
Watch it happen.
All right. Let's go to the AFC West. Potentially the best division.
Best division. I have the LVR Las Vegas Raiders.
Got the Raiders winning. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like you said. It's very close because when it's hard to vote against like the Chiefs, who have been so good for all these years. Mm-hmm. But you got to realize, they lost their wide receiver one in Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
So, it's really splitting hairs in this division. So that just them losing their Pro Bowl wide receiver in Tyreek Hill makes me feel like they can't really edge out someone like the Las Vegas Raiders, who added Devontae Adams in the offseason. Yeah. And like you could make the case for the Chargers perhaps with a rising, exciting Justin Herbert, dynamic young quarterback.
Yep.
Sure. And then the Broncos. See, the Broncos are another hit or miss team. The Broncos, obviously, just adding Russell Wilson, probably the biggest move of this offseason, really, aside from maybe the Deshaun Watson thing. Yeah. But you said this off camera, and sorry, I'm going to steal it from you. I'm giving the credit to Allen. He came up with this, but it's true. I can see the Broncos really being either the 1
or the 4.
Or the 4, yes, in this division. Really hit or miss with them. But, final answer, I got the Raiders.
Yeah, so I like what you said about the Chiefs. They have had a lot of success the past few seasons, but they lost Tyreek Hill. They lost Tyrann Mathieu.
But they got Juju Smith-Schuster.
They got TikTok star, big trio right there.
Corvette.
They got Jackson Holmes, Juju Smith-Schuster,
Jackson. How about Jackson?
Yep. So I think they're gonna be a playoff team. It's hard to bet against Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I think they're gonna be a playoff team, but I don't know if they're winning the division. And the Raiders, I thought I was so confident in them, but like looking at their defense, they got Chandler Jones, but their secondary has not been the best, and their linebacking core has not been the best. So I'm not 100% confident in their defense. Yeah. And the Broncos, like I told Fred, either they're gonna be the 1 seed with Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte Williams, all of them clicking. I think they're either gonna be the 1 seed or the 4 seed where they don't click in their defense. Their defense, they don't have a lot of names. They have Pat Surtain, but that's kind of it. And so, with that, I think the division winner is going to be the LA Chargers.
LA Chargers, wow.
So, I was talking to Fred about this, but I think Justin Herbert, he's competing to be like, I think he could be like on the same level as Aaron Rodgers this season and MVP candidacy. And I think he has all the tools. He's 6'6", has one of the strongest arms in the league. And
I think he has the strongest arm. No, it's either him or Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So, he is one of the strongest arms in the league. And the receiving core, they got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. They got Austin Eckler at running back, who, if you look at any of the fantasy stuff, he's projected to be like the number 2 or 3 running back in fantasy. So he definitely does that. He gets a lot of yards, gets a lot of touchdowns, so he can catch the ball. He's a great running back. He's an underrated running back. But what I want to talk about is their defense. They added Khalil Mack and I don't know about y'all. Khalil Mack is Khalil Mack is that guy.
He's tough.
He has been he's been not as durable for the past few seasons, but I think while sharing reps with Joey Bosa, one of the best edge rushers in the league, sharing reps with him, I think he'll be able to take a little bit more of a break on and not wear out his body as quickly. And they added J.C. Jackson to a pretty decent secondary. They already had Derwin James at safety, so J.C. Jackson, a shutdown cornerback, I think that's going to be really helpful for their secondary. The one thing I could see them struggling in is their coaching and their late game decisions, because that's what they struggled with last year. They have all the talent in the world, but is Brandon Staley good enough to coach his team to the division lead? So
in a very, very tough division.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to see. Yeah. So let's move on to the NFC. Let's start with the NFC North.
NFC North is really a division I don't have too much prior knowledge going into.
Yeah.
So with that said, I have the Detroit Lions. No, I'm just I'm just playing. So they have the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. And I feel like there's really only two teams that are up for debate for this division. Yeah. It's the Packers and the Vikings. Yeah. With that said, Packers losing someone like Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, someone who's been upset with the higher ups in the Packers organization for some years now. Yeah. So maybe he's not the happiest he's ever been, and losing his number one option. I don't really see too many teams performing too well when their star player is upset.
Maybe, yeah.
So that's really the only reason why I have the Minnesota Vikings, a young, dynamic team with Justin Jefferson, with Adam Thielen,
Dalvin Cook.
That's the name I was forgetting. Yeah. That's why I have them with that electric offense.
Yeah,
winning this division.
Yeah, their defense is not that bad either. They got they just added Zadarius Smith from the Packers. So
okay.
So and they already have Daniil Hunter, who is a great edge rusher. So that's definitely gonna be scary. But I'm gonna go with the Packers. I don't know. We were talking off camera. I was telling you how like unconfident I was with the Packers, but it's hard to doubt Aaron Rodgers. I think that in the past he's doubted his receivers. He's been kind of complacent, only throwing to the receivers he trusts the most. But now that he lost Devontae Adams, I think he's going to kind of break out of that shell and trust his receivers more. He got Robert Tonyan. He's getting Robert Tonyan back, who's a decent tight end. He's got Allen Lazard, who I think, in my opinion, Allen Lazard is pretty underrated.
Yes.
Yep. He's underrated because he's a 6'4" receiver. He's tall, and he suffered injuries last year. But before that, he was a go-to number 2 option right behind Devontae at number 1. So I think the Packers are going to do pretty well. Their defense they're getting Jair Alexander, who's a top 3 cornerback when he's healthy, getting him back for this year. And their defense has always been pretty good. They have their coach that side of the ball really well. So I have the Packers winning that division, but not by much.
But it being close.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, the NFC East is another division where I feel like it shouldn't be that much of a debate. Mm-hmm. NFC East was catching a lot of flack, a lot of memes being made the past few years because of how terrible they are with the Giants, the Eagles, the Commanders, and then they got the Cowboys.
They are the Commanders now. I was going to say they're the football team, but now
now they're the Commanders. I forget about that every other day. Yeah, I got the Cowboys.
100%.
Cool. Enough said. All right. Next up, we have the NFC South. The NFC South was a division where at first glance, I looked at the teams, I looked at the layout. You have the Falcons, you have Baker Mayfield, and the Panthers.
Baker, yes, sir.
Ooh, no. And then you got the New Orleans Saints, and then you got TB12 and the Buccaneers. After a little bit of thought, probably about 45 seconds of thought of, could the Saints maybe, the Falcons? No, I have TB12 and the Buccaneers.
Originally, I had the Buccaneers.
What?
But after some intense thought, I have the Buccaneers.
What? Okay.
I got y'all with that, though, for real.
Yeah, well, I was confused, too. He was, like, roasting me off camera. I was, like, he saw me thinking, he's like, Fred, it's not that hard, bro. I'm about to backtrack everything you just said to me.
No, but for real, I was like, I actually was considering picking the Saints because I think Jameis Winston, like we talked about him with Jimmy Garoppolo, I think Jameis Winston could be, if he plays well, he could be a dark horse MVP candidate.
No. Okay, next, the NFC West.
But like the Saints got weapons. They got AK. They got Michael Thomas, Chris Olave. They got Jarvis Landry now. Their defense has always been elite.
I forgot Landry was on the Saints.
But I think just the Buccaneers, they added Russell Gage, Julio Jones to an already stacked receiving core.
Julio.
And they're looking to maybe even sign Odell Beckham Jr. So that could be.
They would.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but their defenses are going to be elite. They still got Devin White, Vita Vea. I'm not sure what happened to Jason Pierre-Paul, but their defensive line, their front seven is still being great, and their cornerbacks could use some work, but they're not bad at all. So I think the Buccaneers are going to be.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady's on his revenge tour, so
Thanks.
it might be his last season, might be the last dance for Mr. Brady.
Mr. Brady.
So I think he's gonna try his hardest. So
nice.
NFC West.
NFC West. This division, it's hard to not pick the reigning Super Bowl champs in the Rams
after they've added
more weapons.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go the LA Rams.
I am too. And just to give more depth, they had a weak kind of linebacking core, and that would be their only flaw. But they added Bobby Wagner, one of the best inside linebackers
from the Seahawks
in football right now.
Wasn't that the last remaining piece of the Legion of Boom from the Seahawks?
Yeah. And then they added Allen Robinson from the Bears, who tall receiver, good number 2 to Cooper Kupp. I think he's gonna be a great deep threat for them. And so Rams. And I will say the 49ers are going to be scary this year, though. I think Trey Lance, we talked about Trey Lance. I think he's going to be pretty decent, but I think just in general, the 49ers defense, offense, their run game. Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, I think it's all going to be scary this year. So
watch out for them.
Watch out, for sure. So we're going to take a break, come back to you with the NBA, but see you in a few seconds.
And we're back. Back at it with the NBA. I hope you guys enjoyed your little break. Maybe a little bathroom break. Maybe go grab a snack. You do you. Get back comfortable. It's time to do some way too early predictions for the NBA.
We're doing the NBA awards specifically. So
my favorite. Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
So as for a little terminology, Coach of the Year, we call Cody. C-O-T-Y. Rookie of the Year, we call it Rody. Sixth Man of the Year, we call it Smody. Smody. Because of the S for six. Yes.
Smody. Yeah, I think they got it.
And then Most Improved, MIP. Defensive Player of the Year, Depoy. And MVP, the MVP. We could just call that one MVP.
Yeah.
We'll call everyone else our fun little name.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. We're going to go
Start with Cody.
Let's start with Cody.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Let me say mine first.
Good.
I don't want to come off as biased. I really don't. But I'm going to say the Cleveland Cavaliers coach and JB. Is it JB or JD? JB Bickerstaff. Because last year he finished second after, wasn't it Monty Williams? And I don't know. I feel like this year we've really added some pieces that might be necessary. The Cleveland Cavaliers team still has a lot of question marks, like how good are we actually going to be? Are we going to be a playoff team? Are we going to start the season well like last year and then end horribly? We'll see. But it's no secret that JB really coached this team well, and I don't see him intending on stopping.
Yeah.
So, and he's already he was already favorite last year, so he's on the voters' minds. I got Mr. Bickerstaff.
Yeah. I was thinking of JB Bickerstaff, but I'm going to go with the New Orleans Pelicans head coach, Willie Green, because if you think about it, they're getting Zion back, who missed the entire year, and they were like a play-in team last year. With Zion, they could, and with Brandon Ingram and everybody developing, they could become top 5 seed maybe.
Really? So I was literally thinking to myself on my way over here, I'm really excited for the Indianalysis episode of the New Orleans Pelicans because they might. You can make the case that they have one of the best young cores in the league. Seriously.
For sure. So, yeah, I got Willie Green winning that. I could definitely see Jay Bickerstaff taking the Cavs from a team that was not in the playoffs to a team that makes the playoffs and I think we're going to have a pretty decent record, be top 5 maybe. So, let's go to Rody.
This is just completely almost like a shot in the dark because none of these rookies have played in the NBA.
It's kind of,
I'm just gonna go. I wonder how often the number 1 seed wins Rookie of the Year, but I'm gonna go Paolo Banchero.
Yep, I'm gonna go Paolo Banchero.
All right, that one was like, it's either him or Chet really, or
Jabari. Yeah.
Jabari Smith.
I think so. The reason why I think Paolo Banchero is gonna be the best is because he's the most NBA ready.
Yeah,
NBA ready prospect. He's a great NBA ready body, 250, 6'10". He can handle the ball. He can be a primary ball handler. He can shoot. He can do everything offensively while being 6'10", and defensively he can still be a monster. He's very athletic. So
yeah,
I think he's just the most NBA ready prospect, and he's gonna be the number 1 option for the Magic. So that's kind of, with the Thunder you got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Rockets you got Jalen Green, Kevin Porter. So I don't know if Jabari and Chet are gonna have the same opportunity.
Yeah, same like number 1. I'm gonna call it a pool party and say Jordan Poole.
Wow, that's crazy. I had Jordan Poole too.
Are you kidding me?
Okay. We talked about this earlier, but I'll go with a different player. I'm gonna go with Colin Sexton. Okay. So
you're wrong. It's gonna be Jordan Poole.
Yeah, Jordan Poole's the easy pick because you now know his name. But
yeah, but still, recency bias is a thing.
Yeah. Yep. So, I'm gonna go with Colin Sexton because if he goes back to the Cavs, he's going to either be the 6th man or we're going to trade him to a team that's probably going to play him at the 6th man, other than maybe if we trade him to the Lakers, who he might start for. But I was thinking the Mavericks. If he goes to the Mavericks, they're probably going to start Dinwiddie over him and Luka over him. So he'll probably come off the bench and be that spark plug. And I can see him averaging 20 points a game off the bench. So I'm going to go with Colin Sexton in that regard. Yeah. And being the 6-man role.
Good to see we're on the same page. I'm scared now that we're going to have the same answer for most improved. Were you peeking at my paper?
I was not, no. Sorry, I was on this side of the room. You were on that side.
I was. Most improved, the MIP.
The MIP.
I have someone who I think you're going to like this answer. The Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards, where if you go back in our archives, Alan vouches for him. He thinks he's the next superstar in the league. And I don't know if I can see that. But I think he's definitely going to – the Timberwolves are definitely a force to be reckoned with this year. Pulling up Rudy Gobert for sure. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be able to have the opportunities to do what he's always wanted to do because he's never always really wanted to be a post player. And now they got Rudy Gobert, top 3 center really, to fill in the post. So, and I think Ant-Man, he's going to have all the opportunities in the world to get better, to reach that new limits. Maybe a borderline all-star this year.
Yeah.
I mean, actually he was last year. So
maybe he might have. I don't know if he was, but he might have been an all-star.
But maybe an all-star this year.
Yeah, so I can see that. The thing is, I think it's going to be like, if Anthony does win it, it's going to be like the same thing with John Morant, because John Morant is a borderline all-star too.
So that was my only hesitation, because John Morant caught some flack this year. It was like, oh, he was already good. He just became an all-star this year. But
yeah, so I think the voters might stay away from that, because apparently you're the only one who doesn't think Anthony Edwards is going to be great, and they're all anticipating it, but
yeah,
I don't know. But I'm like a toss-up between these two players. Either Cam Thomas with the Brooklyn Nets.
Really?
Or Jalen Brunson with the New York Knicks.
Okay.
So Cam Thomas, you guys may have heard of him, may have not. He was a rookie last year. He played in the G League a lot, but from our summer league highlights and from last year's highlights, he's looking like to be a really good shooter, a really good talented offensive player who can come off the bench and kind of play the Colin Sexton role, Tyler Hero role, who he can just light it up offensively. And yeah, so I think him going from G League to maybe 15 points a game this season with Brooklyn could be very could be good to get him the most improved. And with Jalen Brunson, we only really started talking about him in the playoffs where he kind of cooked the Jazz defense by himself. So
on the Mavericks, right?
Yeah, on the Mavericks, exactly. So now that he's with the Knicks, now that's kind of like the number one option next to R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle. If he can average maybe more than 20 points a game from his 16 points a game, and people are actually going to start noticing now because he's playing in the Mecca in New York, he could have a chance to win most improved. And if he takes the Knicks to the playoffs, that'll even further his resume to win that most improved award.
Yeah, we'll see for sure. And so now we got Depoy.
Depoy.
This one might be a stretch because I don't know. I would love to see it. Not a guard, not a center. Forward. I have the Claw.
Oh, comeback Claw.
Comeback Claw. I think there's this viral video going around of him just walking in a room, but he's noticeably put on a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he uses that size, strength. They were calling him bully ball Kawhi. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if Like I'm anticipating at the beginning of the season he won't, be like top 5 of the league like a lot of people think he is, just because, taking a year and a half off from injuries is a long time. So it might take a little bit to get a step back, but the league has been Kawhi-less for the past year and a half, and I think they might have been missing what he brought to the table. So I think he'll win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. The thing is, like, defensive player is such a weird thing because it's always given to like somebody like. It's like you never like talks about it like during the season. You only hear it about in the end of the season.
Yeah. Actually, that's true.
And like I think no disrespect to Marcus Smart, but I think that's kind of why he won it because like they were locking up the Brooklyn Nets, and that's when the votes came out. Yeah. And they saw Marcus Smart locking up the Brooklyn Nets, and then he got the votes then. So kind of recency bias, but. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's kind of hard for me because DPY could be like anybody.
Yeah.
So,
like, who thought that it was gonna be Marcus Smart going into?
I didn't at least. So, but I'm gonna go with a player that I think should have been. He should have been at least. He probably was top 3, but he should have gotten more respect. I'm gonna go with Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat.
Whoa.
So he, I can't express how versatile Bam is as a defender. He can guard 3 through 5 at an elite level, and he can stick with point guards and guards, quick guards. He's an elite rim protector. I think he just doesn't get the respect he deserves, and I think this year he's gonna prove it.
Take that jump.
Yeah. Another player I had was AD, Anthony Davis, coming off injury, but I don't know.
Anthony Davis.
He still laughs about that to this day. I promise you.
I just think it's so genius. Like, I'm just laughing at the comedy genius that put it. I thought it was you.
It was not me. I found it off the internet. I cite my sources. I don't know who the source was, but I said it was not me. So, yeah, Anthony Davis. But I got Bam. So, yeah. So let's go to MVP.
I want you to go first on this one.
I got a pretty popular choice. I'm gonna go with Luka Doncic.
No.
You got Luka?
I had Luka too.
Okay.
I think Luka has been top 5, maybe in top 3 in the league for the past, handful of seasons. I just this year I feel like he will take that next jump. They lost a threat like Jalen Brunson, which is going to require him to have the ball in his hands more often. The offensive load will be more on him, as if it wasn't already.
Yeah, they did get Christian Wood though, which could be.
I actually did forget about that.
Yeah.
I really think though that this year will be Luka's year to take that step because voter fatigue is a thing. I don't see Nikola Jokic winning 3 in a row.
So just for the sake of contradiction, I'm gonna change my vote from Luka Doncic to Trae Young.
Trae Young.
Trae Young.
Okay, continue.
He can create offense. If he averages a double-digit assist, maybe 12 assists a game, averages 30 points a game, that's like MVP. But he's always missed the wins and like the defensive stats, I guess. So I think with DeJounte Murray, with John Collins, with that roster they got in Atlanta, I think they can put the winning and the stats together for Trae Young to win MVP.
I can think of like 5 people that are just going to be better than Trae Young this year.
Name.
I'm not a big Trae Young guy. Name them.
Yeah, Giannis.
So
KD,
I know. Okay,
LeBron.
so I can name of like 7 people that are going to finish above him in MVP. Honestly.
7.
Yeah, Luka, Giannis, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, LeBron James. honestly,
I can see it.
Honestly, Steph Curry, Jason Tatum.
Hey, I picked Luka. I'm just trying to change it for the sake of.
Yeah, but your sake of argument was dumb. You picked Trae Young.
What's wrong with Trae Young?
He looks like a mushroom from Mario.
Okay, I'm picking Trae Young just as a backup. My primary is Luka.
Okay. Whatever. So, you could have picked like Steph Curry as a backup.
I don't think the thing is like with the Warriors roster, I don't think Steph Curry's gonna need to play like 30 minutes a game. He can probably like play 20. Well, yeah, maybe like exactly 30 minutes a game or less, just because they have such a stacked roster now with all the young players developing. So, actually, I should have.
What?
For most improved, I probably should have picked Jonathan Kuminga. I
actually heard that.
I'm a huge fan of Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's gonna be like. He says Andrew Wiggins level athleticism. He's maybe Draymond Green, not Draymond Green, but like like a super Kawhi Leonard potential, Hall of Fame defensive potential.
Really?
And like,
What position is he listed at?
he's a forward. That type of combo forward type of dude. So Jonathan Kuminga, I think he's gonna be really good this year.
Yeah, where was he this season?
He played against the Nuggets. He's a rookie this season. So
yeah,
he wasn't like a standout rookie because he didn't get a lot of minutes in the playoffs.
No,
which is when people usually notice him. But he didn't get a lot of minutes in the playoffs. And he was just
probably because that Warriors team is kind of stacked.
Yeah, they got top to bottom now. They're just that's gonna be. Imagine a lineup of just like 3 elite defenders: Draymond, Andrew Wiggins, and Klay Thompson, and Jonathan Kuminga just around Steph Curry. That's just crazy.
And then having the scoring output of Jordan Poole.
Yeah, you got Jordan Poole off the bench. Jordan Poole and Kuminga, that pick and roll is gonna be crazy. So, shout out to Pick and Roll Podcast though, for real.
Hey, yeah,
but
just like toss us a follow.
Yeah,
Jordan, and
speaking of following, let's.
Nice. Hey, that was clean. I thought that was clean. So Jonathan, if you're out there.
Jordan, what?
Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga.
Oh, okay.
If you're out there and want to like listen to us, because like if you're gonna do the pick and roll, I feel like you have to. There's other pick and roll podcasts, but this is completely unbiased. But we're the best. Unbiased. Anyways, I'll put that behind me. If you want to go to Instagram, you can toss us a follow. Just put the Pick and Roll Podcast _. Yeah, no spaces.
No spaces. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, at the PNR Pod.
No spaces.
No spaces.
The PNR Pod.
Or you can look up one of our names, and you should be able to find it. So,
Jonathan Fridline, J3014 on Instagram.
All right, that's a wrap.